It's Vergil. So in this one, we're going to be updating my top 10 best units tier list here on Dragon Ball Legends. I know it's been a minute since I've made an updated video list, but if you guys ever want to go see any of my initial takes, I usually drop them over on my X account, so feel free to follow me on there. It's always linked in the description. But we are going to be dropping the top 10 units today, honorable mentions, all that jazz. We're receiving new character info reveals tomorrow, so I thought, why not give you guys my updated video list officially here? And it took a little bit of a second to formulate a complete opinion here with all the new content we've received, the entire meta shift, right? Future has definitely made a massive come up, God Key as well, and a lot of like overlapping tags. We're seeing some top heavy hitters kind of drop in overall value, like less effectiveness, and I'm sure you guys are already knowing, if you guys like tapping into the live streams or hear any of my talk in general, know where I'm, who I'm valuing less than I did previously and who I'm actually valuing more. So there's a lot of like underrated characters right now that deserve a little bit of praise. It's a bit of overrated characters, etc, etc. But I'm going to give you guys the 100%. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. There's no reason to appease every single person or anything like that. I just give it to you guys how I believe it is, playing the top ranks of the PvP. And I do want to reiterate, this is a top meta tier list. This isn't, for the all ranges, points of views of the PvP experience. This is just strictly proud standard in a high level gameplay, like very star scaled, competitive, as you can get kind of aspect here. But make sure to drop a like in the video, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, because I do upload every day with Dragon Ball Legends content. Without further ado, we are going to start at the top here. I'm going to do a top 5 first. So we got 1 through 5, and then 6 through 10. And you know how this list is actually going to go. There's so many interchangeables and arguments for characters in wide variety of ranges, and the lower you go, the wider the range is. You guys know how it is here. But number 1 in the meta, I think he's been number 1 for quite some time, ever since he released, and this could be kind of a, I guess, controversial one still, because there's so many people that would have other characters in this number 1 position, but mine is still going to be Beast Gohan. For all reasons, right? He's got a wide variety of teams outside of like the leader slot position, right? A great Zenkai buffers. We just received that LF Gogeta Blue Zenkai, making him a top, more even so viable option. The main, I think, thing to mention is the special beam cannon, the way you can actually control when you want to snipe and kill a character. If you know how to use the unit, just one of the hardest hitting units in the game alongside that special beam, right? So the AoE on ults, a lot of great utility, solid disrupt, and obviously at lower stars, it's just gonna be how it is. Obviously gonna be tanking less, but this is top meta, so most likely you're gonna have him at the higher star threshold. We're rating units at their like pretty much peak potential here, and Beast Gohan has the threshold to pretty much kill any unit he desires at any given moment. So say like endurance characters, nobody's really safe with this unit running around, and I've tried to look at like the number 2 character fighting for that number 1 spot, and he just doesn't do it. Like, he doesn't control the game as much as Beast Gohan does when he's on the field. Severe threat, right? Green card, long combos, you name it. Very rounded out character, and like I said, he has a bunch of tagging, so overlapping taggings, being able to fit on like Sun Family, movies, hybrid Saiyans, a lot of top options in that area. So generally, Beast Gohan having, solely the special beam cannon has done it for me. This guy can literally just kill when he wants to, and that's just how it is. So the number 2 character, who is also, I would say, arguably number 1 at this moment, but I just couldn't seal the deal. I think he's a solid number 2 unit, is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He went from rags to riches, right? Completely underrated on his initial drop as Vegito. I said it myself, Vegito Light. He didn't feel like that guy, but you know how early takes are, and it's been a lot of early takes with a lot of these recent LFs as well, like Zamasu, Grunks have been completely underrated. Super Saiyan 3 Goku went through the same things and inevitably just became more and more valuable, right? The things that he's immune to, he's able to get through Beast Gohan very easily, extend combos, and pretty much just exist to never stop, right? As soon as he swaps into the field, he gets that endurance nullification ability for some counts. I think that's going to be, aging insanely well. The utility with him transforming, he actually performs really good even alone in the Super Saiyan 2 state. So once you get him off going to Super Saiyan 3, it's pretty much just green card, combo extend, whether you want to swap it to like a Beast Gohan, a Majin Vegeta, He's got numerous comms. Green is also the best color in the game right now, so you can mix and match him with all the other green parties, right? Sun Family, you got access to this guy. You can, you know, somehow mix up a God Key setup with God Goku, Ultra Black, whatever the case is. He has so much in his arsenal that Super Saiyan 3 Goku's looking like a #1 contender. I'd probably say Beast Gohan's range is like 1 to 2. Super Saiyan 3 Goku's range is like 1 through 4. I have him at 2, obviously. Number 3, we have... who am I adding to 3? This one is going to shock some people, most likely. But I was fighting between God Goku and the Grunks character, and there's no really a right answer. It's just, I do see some more overall value coming from the Grunks. Believe it or not, Grunks, I'm just going to say this, and it's not by that much here. You can argue either or in these positions here, but I'm going to give it to Grunks. Specifically for the fact on how versatile they are. So they do scale a lot on stars, and I think that's where most people fail to recognize how valuable they are, because they are not star dependent, but they scale very high. So the damage output from them, the combo extension from them, the tag swap, having the 2 colors is definitely underrated as well, with greens being the #1 color in the game, reds and newly being able to dominate and shut down yellows, kind of push yellows back. So Beast Gohan, etc. If you want to have Grunks on your teams, insane options to teams as well. Future Comp is insane right now. Sun Family, Vegeta Clan, Hybrid Saiyans, all of the above is just some of the best teams in the game. So this guy just having rush protection like no other character. The durability, the constant healing from the character, performing insanely well before the even revival. Sometimes you're just not even reviving because they can sustain so much and clap back just like that, right? They're tanking hits, healing it back up, dealing some massive damage, and great kit overall. So nothing special like the cancel buff effects that these other characters provides, but literally everything that they're missing, their partners do have. So whether it's the cancellation buff effects, whether it's like the AoE green card, all that like toxic super protection, they have just flat out revival protection, which is really insane. Of course, when he does revive, the Trunks just combos for days, blue card nullifying endurance, insane damage, neutral potential as well is really solid. So definitely an underrated character. I'd say their range, I think the range opinion perspective is extremely important so people can realize where they're seeing them differ from my own opinion. Like I said, Super Saiyan 2 Goku's 1 through 4. This guy's probably like 3 would be the highest, but I'm valuing them so high from their team versatility, right? They're literally can fit on any build in the game right now. And on top of that, you can build them strike, you can build them blast, have insane platinum defensive equipment. So whatever you want to do, whether it's like whatever team basically, strike, blast, defense, they have access to quite literally everything, and they can perform in an all-rounded basis even if so. So God Goku is going to be my number 4 pick right now. Best teams in the game, Green, Sun Family, God Key on the rise. Obviously, he got a platinum equipment, which is why he's even argued this high, but if you play PvP at any point, you already know I do want to argue him even higher. So if you wanted to have it like something like this, it's even arguable for the number 2 spot, which is insane to me, but I'm going to have him at a calm number 4. I do want to give Grunks the respect they deserve. Just like they're taking the edge for me over God Goku strictly from the overwhelming amount of team diversity that they have. So like the way that they can be extremely versatile. God Goku has like a similar thing, but a little bit more limited to teams, right? Like one specific tagging with the Sun Family Saiyans, God Key super on the rise. So like Zamasu's insane right now. Any of these God Key characters doing fantastic. You mix and match with some Sun Family Saiyan characters and you got a nasty pick. By the way, the best standard team in the game is looking to be this. Let me know if you guys have seen it and or tried that, but a pretty much green red comp with Zamasu, very oppressive build. We have, you know, 1 rush protection character with the endurance, but there is 2 cancel buff characters. Zamasu, extremely oppressive if you know, star dependent, scaling, all that jazz, but definitely another underrated pick, and you guys are going to be very, you know, surprised to see where I'm going to be placing him in a second here. But AoE green card, one of the most toxic / broken mechanics in the game. Great vanish restore, just stupid damage. I don't want that to go unnoticed as well. Obviously, he has access to ridiculous damage potential. And that's really what it comes down to. So being green, having overlapping tags, the cancel buffs, he's just like a better Majin Vegeta at this point. And you're probably at this point in the video realizing, waiting for me to talk about Majin Vegeta. And he is one of those characters for me specifically that has been dropping in value. Not because the character is bad, that I'm just seeing more overall effectiveness from all the characters that I just previously mentioned, right? So this guy, they're just doing more in this current meta with more team options, more damage, more kill potential, where Majin Vegeta just doesn't snipe like he used to. There's a lot of anti-AoE green card stuff, anti-AoE greens, anti-AoE greens. He has the gauge. I didn't mention this when I'm talking about Beast Gohan, but one of the biggest things with him is literally his gauge, right? So you do want to kind of expunge his gauge as soon as possible so you can have an opening to either Rising Rush or Ultimate. But, you know, some people kind of just let it go unnoticed, and before you know it, the match has already gone like halfway through. His gauge is still active. He's getting the special beam cannon. The argument is that he dies way too fast, and you should have a team to kind of support and back him up in such a fashion where he's able to get that special beam, and you know, that gauge helps the rush not happen and ultimate not happen and all that works. So Majin Vegeta just beating around the bush, being an AoE card merchant. Obviously, if you catch a unit lacking, it is what it is. Snipe, lock-in is still extremely powerful, but yellows in general taking a hit right now. Zamasu, huge number 5. I have not seen anyone else give Zamasu the proper respect in the top ranks of the PvP. So Zamasu being on the best team of the game that I just previously stated, having access to numerous characters and top comps here, whether that was like a hybrid future setup, whether that's a God Key Sun family setup. I don't know what the heck I just switched up here, but very oppressive character, good Vanish Restore, very straightforward unit, no cancel buff effects, no second life. And I think that's where the struggle does come from, is that he almost feels like a Glass Cannon LF Broly comparison character at low stars, but the way that he's able to be versatile and switch up the strike or the the attack and defensive gauges are very, very useful. So the disrupt, and he could go on the offense and just apply the pressure that way, right? Really good cover nullification and all that. Very oppressive character, snowball kind of damage unit, and before you know it, he's just slicing and doing more damage with every single hit. So red being a very valuable color right now. This is what gives all these other colors some insane value. So the blue side of the grunks, the partner, you know, setup with them two together as well, the Godku setup, you could pretty much just run all of these characters, you know, together on some type of overlapping setup, which is very, very unique here. But reds kind of showing some love here in the game because they've been lacking for a little bit of time, which allowed yellow to be so dominant. But I don't think, you know, that's the whole thing. You guys are not seeing Majin Vegeta on my list yet is because I've had multiple moments in the top scenarios where there's no cancel buffs, there's no second life going on, which is Majin Vegeta's greatest foe, right? He wants to snipe, he wants to do AoE damage, he wants to take a big hit off your team, and he sometimes, if in the worst possible scenario, say I'm running MV, right? Or MZ, excuse me. Fuse Zamasu, whatever the case is. He is type neutral now. Majin Vegeta can pretty much just snipe this character off, but doesn't deal even enough damage. There's been numerous times where it just happens, and you could definitely see that power creep kind of bleed in with the Majin Vegeta. Just not hitting as hard. He's obviously off boost. He obviously has some insane partners, and I keep talking about this unit because he's the topic of conversation. People do still want to argue him like best unit in the game. I see Majin Vegeta's range from probably like 3 or 4 all the way to like 7 and 8, so a pretty wide range. I'm not gonna even get mad at you guys if you want to value him highly. I just don't, in the top rank, find him as effective as these other characters, and that's just my personal opinion here. I'm even gonna slap Daima Goku above him because right now, reds, you know, if you guys peak Daima Goku setup with any of these other options, right, God Goku and the Tamagami robot, he's just 2-3 carding characters, easy nullifying endurance, the lock-in snipe, but more frequently. So he's doing Majin Vegeta's job, but better. He's got an anti-AoE green card. He cancels buff effects. He gains endurance on the Rising Rush. A lot of, I guess, partners as well, but he does really, you know, it's funny that I'm putting him below Zamasu, which is not a popular take right now. People don't want to believe that Fuse Zamasu is actually the best red because of other narratives, content creators. I'm not, you know, here to slander other people's opinions and whatnot. I just think that he is a very reliant character on support buffs, right? So this is the dynamic duo with Daima Goku, and I'm sure he's going to gain more value as Daima, you know, characters release, but he has a great setup. Like, this has to be one of the best teams in the game right now, and I will definitely value that. But the fact that MZ is a lot more versatile on his own, God Key, Future, and having the best team in the game, which is Green Root, I still think this is the best team in the game, in my opinion. Very oppressive, and he's not reliant on anything. Whereas Daima Goku, if you're not running him with the robot, he's just underperforming, taking a little bit to a lot more time to kind of get that build-up rolling. But then we finally have Majin Vegeta here, who I've basically slandered in this video, but I try to do it in a sense of where you guys can see where I'm not trying to say that the unit's bad. He's just having less overall value because he's not killing any of these characters, right? He might do AoE, boom, insta heal, all my characters are up full HP. You basically want to burn through this guy's gauges. A lot of them have anti-AoE. He's not as crippling effective as he once was, like the king of the game. Definitely annoying a character to extend combos, right? Insane partners, yellow, blue, still a lot of cons, right? Vegeta Clan, if you want to run him with Grunks, he's still a crazy character. But hear me out, you guys. If you want to rate him any higher than this, probably like 5-4, I wouldn't even be mad because I'm not going to underrate the character. Just from my perspective, he's definitely dropped in overall value in the top meta of PvP. If you guys have these characters, this unit and this unit at high stars, the durability, the healing potential, the overwhelming amount of damage, and pretty much effectiveness outperforms Majin Vegeta. And it's as simple as that from my POV. So Majin Vegeta, AoE Green Merchant at the current moment, very easy to burn through gauges. You get caught lacking, it is what it is. The unit's still insane. We're going to move over to number 7. We probably have Gotenks here. I'm going to be real. I do think he's also a bit overrated. I've seen him in like the top 5s, top 3s. It's very weird. I don't know really where to place this unit. I think everything this point back is kind of like an interchangeable, like super interchangeable area because he's not even insanely overwhelming or effective. He's a very good asset to a lot of teams, right? Fusion Warriors, we got Hybrid Saiyans, which is really good right now. Really great utility. Vanish Restore is kind of insane. Combo potential is insane. And Beast Gohan's best unit in the game, right? So Hybrid Saiyans, he's got, I mean, Fusion Warriors, like this guy, and then is that the only other fusion? I mean, you can do something like that. Fusions is kind of cracked as well, but it's really just Hybrid Saiyans, not as much team diversity. Majin Buu Saga is also insane, so if you wanted to do something like this. But Endurance is not really too, you know, it's not a huge deal anymore. I think that's why Grunks is so valuable. In a worst case scenario, if you were going to sack off a character, you'd have a true protection behind that. All these Endurance characters are susceptible to a Beast Snipe. He does not care. You catch him one time, one card, drop combo, whatever you want to do, he's killing a character. So it's just, that's just how it is. This guy is still able to cook, but I can even put him lower than this. I'm going to give him some respect considering Hybrid Saiyans. If you guys know, pure Hybrid Saiyans is always cracked. He's got a couple of other comps. And then from here, we have 8, 9, 10, right? So, what is it? 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's 9, 10. We're missing 9, 10. And then from here, it really gets mixy, bro. Like, interchangeable because I previously had it like this. And if you guys are playing in the top meta right now, or maybe not, you guys are able to see this in the lower ranks. These guys are still insane characters, right? Vegito Blue, able to combo extend, still do pretty decent. God Key Future, he's got the partners, right? He's got the green, red in a different variant here. I'd probably add these characters here, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly want to add Goku Black in the top 10 again because he just got some insane value with all these future God Key upgrades. So really great overall utility from the cancel buff effects, having some type of endurance. I just kind of devalued endurance, but it exists to some degree of value there. But yeah, this combo of Vegito still existing to extend combos really well is insane. Obviously with Beast Gohan being number 1, the card cost situation, Super Saiyan 3 is able to deal with that so much more. But Vegito exists, right? Like, he's a character that's still able to perform, still go crazy, and a lot of these are just going to be interchangeable from here. So if you want to have any of these other guys in a same position here at the 9-10 mark, and then honorable mentions, it's very interchangeable because they got some great partners, right? God Key Future. Rose's looking pretty crazy right now at the plat. I'm gonna say I'm satisfied with him. Takes a little bit of a second to build up. Obviously, he's got the disrupt. He's got the multiple ultimates, which is really good to combat the #1 character in the game. I will say that, but it's easy to kind of like throw in or sack in, grunks, for instance, right, and just tank it, heal it, all that jazz. But in an instance where you're able to utilize that extra ultimate and get rid of Beast Gohan's gauge, I would say is pretty powerful. Paralyze is still insanely toxic, but no rush protection from him, no special like combo extension mechanic here. But this guy's got multiple vanishes with the main pops. Green card's nasty, and then of course the anti-gauges. So this character right here is another reason why Majin Vegeta, just another character to semi-counter him, right? Outside of all the cancel buffs exist, outside of all the characters that have double lives, the power creep, whatever, there's just so much going on to devalue Majin, bro. I'm just adding another one to the list, right? Anti-gauge character here, and then Goku Black, underrated, but my thought process personally is that I would have him above, say, like this character. I'd have him above Turles right now. I'd have him individually and, like, I guess overall wise above Tamagami. It just has to work that way. There's nothing wrong with any of these characters, but Green's being too overwhelming. I'm not going to say, like, Turles is all that effective. He's really just a wall. He can hold it down, but Greens are definitely overwhelming in the meta right now. So I'd probably have Rose above that. I'd probably, have Turles somewhere around there. Still great, by the way. If you're having him with Beast Gohan, that's pretty much his main comp. Or if you want to do a subtle, like, powerful opponents, is, like, not as good, but it does exist and work. Tamagami is here. He does exist as well. I'd probably still also put him above Turles because you need him to make Daimagoku look like a god, and it is a setup that works. He is a purple character. He has great utility, Banish Restore, the cancel buff effects, and not too much team versatility, unfortunately. But other characters here that I would like to kind of like mention that are also really good. I probably put Rathan above Turles as well, believe it or not. Really great character just for like the support that he provides to Sun Family, Hybrid Saiyans. You guys have been seeing me run him a ton in Proud mode right now. The anti-blast armor is still insane. Another gauge to protect you from the UMV gauge, or if you want to break UMV's gauge, he's just gonna counter with his gauge, the blue card, so you don't actually take any damage from that if used correctly. The pretty much counter everything, last man standing. This Gohan has aged like fine wine. The fact that we can still have him in an honorable mention setting with all of these other top candidates in the game. But you guys are probably looking at this list like number 1 through 10, and you're like, wow, this is very different. And it's because I'm not like anyone, I'm not trying to, formulate my opinions over whatever, other creators think or other, community members thinking like that. This is strictly from my point of view and my gameplay experience. If you guys know, and these characters are insanely good, insanely underrated right now. Definitely low-balled, right? Like, these guys getting slander, this guy's semi-undervalued. Goku Black, nobody wants to take the time of day to recognize how valuable this is. You're going to probably see this and be like, Goku Black top 10 is GG's, but in a reality standpoint, he is insanely good right now in the meta with Future all the way back up. We got God Key all the way up. Powerful opponents still existing, really insane, but all of these can definitely be interchangeable, whether you wanted to have some of these back, some of these forward. The 8 to 9, 10 realm is a very mixy kind of location here. And then I'm probably going to slap, these guys are also really good, but reds are extremely dominant right now, so I can't value the yellows. They're definitely taking a hit from this. I'm going to be putting all of these are not even in order, but I'm going to talk about, I think, Cell last. I mean, Gogeta is really good if you want a quick opinion on him. He's got a solid disrupt, solid teams, but nothing too special. He seems fine, just like really good, great option. God Key's insane, Movies is still up. Fusions exist, obviously. Sort of Hope, similar thing. I would not use him all that often, but say if you're running Proud, Vegeta Clan is great. He's got Grunks, Majin Vegeta. You got Future, which is really good. A lot of Strike. Blue can be a great asset to protect you from the reds. Overwhelming right now. The equipment has some solid cancel buff effects. You can also bypass the Trunks, or excuse me, the Beast Gohan gauge with Trunks, very similar to like how the Ultra Super Gogeta has the ability on the equipment. He also has the same ability on his equipment. So uncancelable cover nullification, if I do believe, and I just don't sound crazy right now. Great character. That's what I'm trying to say. Turles, all interchangeable, by the way. Cell, I'm putting him behind everything. He is worth talking about, and he should be doing so much more in this meta because of how insane greens are, how insane Saiyans and powerful or hybrid Saiyans are. But I can't, bro. Like, from what everything I've seen from his release, I know it's still very early. It's a couple of days in, but bro is just existing. Like, it's as simple as that. He's a great asset. He has the potential to do great things, but it's so niche where it's like unreliable, if that makes any sense. I'd rather have any of these other characters where you can rely on their consistency with either damage output, utility, or even defensively, right? This guy's not immune to anything. He doesn't have any defensive utilities. His offensive output is very inconsistent, right? You want to get his gauge. He's got a couple of vanish mechanics with the green card and the gauge fill up, and then obviously his ultimate blue cards can nuke. His window for a type neutral play is very short, so that's also an issue. Don't really see this Cell that high. If you want to mix and match him around here, that's fine with me as well. And you know, future, great, but he literally isn't even that versatile also, right? He's just on future. Maybe what powerful opponents, regen also exists. So this guy, Grunks, I think would be his best setup, and I would still rather run anything else, right? I'd rather run Vegito, I'd rather run Goku Black, I'd rather run Ultra Rose 10 times over than running this guy. Any of these characters, that's just how I feel personally. It's no hate to Cell. I'm sad to see him like this, but it's not even because he's a bad Zenkai. It's more or less like that's just how he is. So still great. Maybe I see a lot of people having him in the 10. That's just not me. Have him in the 15, 20 mark. You can have him somewhere here would be reasonable, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'd rather have any of these characters above Cell, and that's just how it is, right? So I think we talked about pretty much everyone worth talking about here. If you guys want to even more in-depth list or like a more tier list frequently, let me know in the comment section. Feel free to be honest with me in the comments as well. I know a lot of people are going to disagree because the majority of people that play this game are at a lower rank setting and you know, don't have the star scaling or don't have the experience to kind of gauge this from another level. But if you guys have seen my gameplay, I've utilized and used every single character that you guys see here, and so I have a pretty good perspective of how they're doing at the highest level, I guess, in PvP. So let me know what you guys think, but this is definitely one of a kind here. I would never sugarcoat or bullshit to you guys for the sake of it. So if you guys have it, like the video, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay frosty. I'm about to catch my flight, so you don't gotta wait on me.